Hey, everyone, how's it going? Today, we're diving deep into a topic that stirs something in all of us, whether we realize it or not. Have you ever stopped to think about your own spiritual awakening? That moment when you start feeling like there's more to life, something beyond what our eyes can see. Well, my friends, we're here to talk about the science of spiritual awakening from a Spiritist perspective. And hey, this isn't some crazy talk, it's real science. We're going to explore the evidence, share experiences, and maybe even open your eyes to a dimension that's right here, closer than you think. But sometimes we don't notice. You know that feeling like you're not alone? Or that shiver down your spine you get now and then? Well, my friend, it could be that the spiritual world is a lot closer than you realize. And today, we're going to uncover that mystery together. But before we dive in, here's what I need you to do. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment below sharing what you're hoping to discover in this video. I'm super curious to know. So, are you ready for this spiritual journey? Come with me, and I'll guide you through this amazing adventure. Alright, everyone, now that we're all in this together, let's start with the basics. After all, what exactly is the spiritual awakening that everyone's talking about? Picture this, your life is like a big dream. You're there, going about your day-to-day routine, working, paying bills, building relationships. But suddenly, something happens that shakes you up. It could be a loss, a significant experience, or even a moment of deep reflection. And in that moment, it's like you wake up to a much bigger reality. It's like when you're playing a video game, completely focused on the screen, and then suddenly you look around and realize, whoa, wait a minute, there's a whole world out here. That's what spiritual awakening is like. It's when you start to see beyond the screen of your material life. From the Spiritist perspective, this awakening is a natural part of our evolution as spirits. We're not just here to be born, grow up, pay taxes, and die. No way. We're on a much bigger journey. A journey of spiritual learning and growth. But hold on. Don't think that awakening spiritually means you're suddenly going to become a guru overnight, levitate, and start talking to spirits, okay? It's nothing like that. Spiritual awakening is a process. It's like learning to ride a bike. First, you fall, you get hurt, you're scared. But little by little, you get the hang of it, build confidence, and one day you're riding without even thinking about it. And the best part? Every awakening is unique. Yours will be different from mine, which will be different from your neighbor's, which will be different from that guy on the other side of the world. Because each of us is a unique spirit with our own experiences, lessons, and challenges. So, if you've been feeling that restlessness, that urge to understand more about life, your purpose, or what's beyond what we can see, congratulations. You might be at the start of your own spiritual awakening. Feeling curious now? Want to learn more? Drop a comment below if you've had any experiences you consider part of your awakening. Share with us. Your story might just help someone else recognize their own awakening. Alright, everyone, now that we've got a grasp on what spiritual awakening is, let's dive into something that might surprise a lot of people. The science behind it all. That's right, my friends. This isn't just fluff. There's a lot of serious research happening in this area. You know that famous quote from Shakespeare, "There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy?" Well, it looks like he was onto something. Science is increasingly discovering evidence that there's way more to the universe than what we can see and touch. Let's take quantum physics, for example. This field of science is revealing that reality is far more complex than we ever imagined. There are some pretty wild things happening at the particle level that we can't fully explain yet. And you know what's even crazier? Many of these discoveries align with what Spiritism has been saying for over 150 years. For example, the idea that everything in the universe is connected. Quantum physics talks about quantum entanglement, where two particles can be connected even when they're far apart. Doesn't that sound a lot like the Spiritist idea that we are all spiritually connected? And there's more. Studies on near-death experiences, NDEs, have revealed some incredible patterns. People from different cultures, ages, and beliefs report very similar experiences when they come close to death. They talk about a light at the end of a tunnel, encounters with loved ones who have passed, and a deep sense of peace. How can we explain that? Dr. Raymond Moody, one of the pioneers in this field of study, has cataloged thousands of these experiences. And you know what's really interesting? Many of these people come back transformed by these experiences. It's like they've gone through an intense spiritual awakening. But hold on, there's more. Studies on meditation and mindfulness are also bringing scientific evidence to light about the benefits of these practices. Researchers have discovered that meditation can literally change the structure of your brain. This is what they call neuroplasticity. And guess what? Many of these changes happen in parts of the brain associated with self-awareness, compassion, and emotional regulation. Isn't that exactly what we expect from someone who's gone through a spiritual awakening? How cool is this? Science is starting to provide evidence for things spiritists have been talking about for a long time. The idea that we're more than just our physical bodies, that there's a reality beyond the material, that we can evolve spiritually. All of this is gaining scientific support. So what do you think, everyone? Can you see how science and spirituality can go hand in hand? Isn't it amazing? Let me know in the comments what you think about all this. Were you surprised? Have you heard of any of these studies before? And if you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to give the video a like and share it with your friends. Who knows, you might help someone wake up to this bigger reality. Hey, everyone, how's it going? Now we're about to dive into a topic that's practically the backbone of Spiritism: reincarnation. Ever had that feeling of déjà vu? Or met someone and felt like you've known them for years? Well, there might be more to the story than you think. In the Spiritist view, reincarnation is like the study plan for our soul. It's through multiple lifetimes that we learn, evolve, and become better beings. It's kind of like a big cosmic RPG, you know? Except instead of leveling up a character, you're leveling up your own soul. But hold on, it's not just about being born, dying, and being born again. Between each life, we spend some time in the spiritual realm. It's like taking a break between classes. We reflect on what we've learned, plan our next incarnation, and connect with other spirits. It's a whole process. And here's something cool. The idea of reincarnation isn't unique to Spiritism. Many cultures around the world, from ancient Egypt to indigenous tribes in the Americas, have similar beliefs. Isn't that interesting? How could such similar ideas emerge in such distant places? But let's get back to Spiritism. According to the doctrine, we reincarnate with a purpose. It could be to learn something new, correct past mistakes, or even help others on their journeys. That's why we sometimes face challenges in life. It's not a punishment, okay? It's an opportunity for growth. And here's something mind-blowing. Some people can actually remember their past lives. It's rare, but it happens. Dr. Ian Stevenson from the University of Virginia spent decades studying these cases. He documented over 3,000 cases of children who had detailed memories of past lives. And many of those memories could be verified. Imagine this. A child in India who's never left their village describing a past life in London with incredible detail. And when they check the facts, they find out the details match. How do we explain that? But hey, you don't need to remember past lives to believe in reincarnation. We can see signs of it in our daily lives. That inexplicable ease in learning a new language, that irrational fear of heights, that instant connection with certain people, all of these could be reflections of our past experiences. And the best part about all this is that reincarnation gives us hope, you know? We don't need to fear death because it's just a transition. We always have the chance to start over, to do better, to evolve. Isn't that freeing? Of course, with that freedom comes responsibility too. If we have multiple lives, then our actions today will affect our future. It's that famous karma everyone talks about. But remember, karma isn't punishment. It's the law of cause and effect. You reap what you sow, simple as that. So, what do you think about the idea of reincarnation? Have you ever had an experience you couldn't explain that made you think of past lives? Share your stories with us in the comments. And if this talk about reincarnation has got you thinking, share the video with that friend who's always philosophizing about life. Who knows? Maybe you'll discover you were friends in a past life too. Hey, everyone. Now we're going to dive into a topic that many people find mysterious, sometimes even a bit scary. But in reality, It's something completely natural, mediumship. You know that whole sixth sense thing? Or when someone says they felt a presence. Well, that's all related to mediumship. But hold on. No need to run off thinking there's a ghost following you. Okay? In the Spiritist view, mediumship is an ability that we all have to some degree. It's like a spiritual Wi-Fi, you know? Some people have a stronger signal, others weaker, but everyone has this connection to the spiritual world. So what exactly is mediumship? Well, it's the ability to communicate with or perceive the spiritual realm. This can happen in different ways, through thoughts, sensations, visions, or even by writing or speaking. And here's something interesting. Science is starting to look into this too. There are serious studies going on at respected universities about mediumistic experiences. For example, Dr. Alexander Moreira Almeida from the Federal University of Juiz de Fora has been conducting fascinating research in this field. But let's go back to the basics. In Spiritism, we believe there are various types of mediumship. There's psychography, which is spirit writing. Remember Chico Xavier. There's psychophony, where the medium speaks under the influence of spirits. There's clairvoyance, clairaudience. It's a wide range. Now, it's important to remember, mediumship isn't a superpower, okay? It's a big responsibility. Just think about it. You have access to information from the spiritual world. What do you do with it? How do you use this ability to help others? In Spiritism, we believe mediumship should be used for good, to comfort, to guide, to bring peace. It's not about predicting lottery numbers or gossiping about people's lives on the other side. Okay? And here's the best part. Mediumship can be developed. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. But just like you won't become a bodybuilder overnight, developing mediumship takes time, dedication, and, most importantly, study. That's right, study. In Spiritism, we believe mediums need to study a lot. Not just about mediumship itself, but also about philosophy, ethics, and even science. Because the more knowledge you have, the better you can interpret and share messages from the spiritual world. But hey, mediumship isn't just something that happens in Spiritist centers. You can exercise your mediumistic sensitivity in your everyday life. You know when you just know you should call someone, and it turns out they really needed help? Or when you have a gut feeling that ends up being spot on? Well, that could be your mediumship kicking in. One important thing to remember. Mediumship isn't something to be afraid of. A lot of people get scared when they start having mediumistic experiences. But there's no need. It's natural, folks. It's just another way to perceive the world around us. Of course, like anything in life, mediumship needs to be used responsibly. In Spiritism, we learn that it's important to have balance, discernment, and, most of all, love in our hearts. Because at the end of the day, mediumship is a tool to help others, you know? So, have you ever had an experience you'd consider mediumistic? That unexplained chill, that super vivid dream, that spot-on intuition? Share your story with us in the comments. And if you're enjoying this talk about mediumship, don't forget to give the video a like and share it with your friends. You might spark someone's curiosity about this fascinating topic. Hey, everyone, how's it going? Now we're going to talk about something that's at the very heart of Spiritism. Spiritual evolution. But hold up, don't think of it like a Pokemon evolution, okay? It's a much deeper and more complex process. In the Spiritist view, spiritual evolution is the main purpose of our existence. It's like the ultimate goal in the game of life, you know? But unlike games, there are no shortcuts or cheats here. It's a path that each of us needs to walk at our own pace. So, what exactly is this thing called spiritual evolution? Well, it's the process of becoming better beings, more conscious, more loving. It's like we're gradually polishing our soul, smoothing out the rough edges and imperfections. And guess what? This process doesn't just happen when we're meditating or doing spiritual things. No, spiritual evolution happens in our daily lives, in our choices, our actions, and in how we treat others and ourselves. You know that annoying situation at work? That argument in traffic? That family conflict? All of these are opportunities for spiritual growth. These are the moments where we put what we've learned into practice, where we exercise patience, forgiveness, and understanding. And here's something interesting. In Spiritism, we believe this evolution doesn't happen in just one lifetime. It's a process that spans many incarnations. That's why sometimes we meet children who seem wise beyond their years, or people who have an incredible knack for certain things. Could be the result of lots of effort in past lives. But don't go thinking that spiritual evolution means sitting around meditating and talking about love and light all day. Okay? Spiritual evolution is super practical. It's about how you act in the world, how you treat people, and how you handle life's challenges. One important thing: spiritual evolution isn't a competition. Everyone has their own path, their own challenges. There's no point in comparing yourself to others. What matters is being better than you were yesterday, you know? And here's the cool part. The more we evolve spiritually, the more we understand life. Things start to make more sense, and we feel more at peace with ourselves and the world around us. So how do we evolve spiritually? Well, in Spiritism, we believe that self-knowledge is key. It's that old saying, know thyself. The more we know ourselves, the more we can work on our flaws and develop our virtues. Other important things include study, always, practicing charity, and it's not just about giving money, okay? Inner reform, which is the constant work of improving ourselves, and of course, lots of love in our hearts. So, how's your spiritual evolution going, everyone? Have you noticed any changes in the way you see life? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. And if this talk about spiritual evolution touched your heart, share the video. You might just help someone take their first steps on this incredible journey. Hey, everyone. Now it's time to dive into two super important concepts in Spiritism: karma and free will. Sounds complicated, right? But don't worry. I'm going to break it down for you in a way that's easy to understand. First, let's talk about karma. A lot of people think karma is like divine punishment, you know? Like you did something wrong, so now you have to suffer the consequences. But that's not really how it works. In Spiritism, we see karma more like a natural law, kind of like gravity. Think of it this way: every action creates a reaction. It's like throwing a ball at a wall. It's going to bounce back to you, right? Karma works in a similar way. Everything we do, think, or feel generates an energy that will come back to us in some form. But hold on. This doesn't mean that if you've done something wrong, you're doomed for all eternity. Karma isn't about punishment. It's about learning. The idea is that we learn from the consequences of our actions and get better over time. And here's the best part. Good karma exists too. When you do good things, that positive energy also comes back to you. That's why helping others, being kind, and doing good doesn't just make the world a better place. It also brings good things into your own life. Now, let's talk about free will. This is a super important concept in Spiritism. Basically, it's the power we have to make our own choices. God isn't up there controlling us like we're in some game of The Sims. We have the freedom to choose our own path. But hey, with great power comes great responsibility. Yep, I'm quoting Spider-Man here. Free will means we're responsible for our choices and the consequences that come with them. And this is where karma and free will meet, you see. We're free to choose, but every choice has a consequence. It's like a real-life RPG. Every decision you make leads you down a different path, with different challenges and rewards. So now you might be thinking, wait a minute, if I have free will, how come some people are born into difficult situations? Did they choose that? Great question. In Spiritism, we believe that before reincarnating, the spirit, along with its spiritual mentors, plans the main challenges and experiences it will face in the next life. It's kind of like a lesson plan, you know? You pick the subjects you need to study in order to evolve. But once you're here on Earth, you have free will to decide how to handle those situations. And here's the interesting part. Even in the toughest situations, we always have a choice. We can choose how to react, how to face our problems, and what attitude to take. That's where our power lies. In the end, karma and free will are tools for our spiritual evolution. Karma shows us what we need to learn, and free will gives us the chance to make better choices, to grow, to evolve. So, what do you all think? Have you ever stopped to consider how your choices affect your life and the lives of others? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. And if this talk about karma and free will got your head spinning, in a good way. Share the video. Let's spread knowledge and reflection far and wide. Phew, what an incredible journey we've been on today, right everyone? We explored spiritual awakening, the science behind it, reincarnation, mediumship, spiritual evolution, and even karma and free will. I'm almost out of breath here, but you know what's even more amazing? All of this is a part of our lives, a part of our journey as immortal spirits. We're here to learn, to grow, to evolve. And each of us plays an important role in this vast web of life. So, how about we start looking at the world through new eyes? How about we see every challenge as an opportunity for growth? Every person as a fellow traveler on this journey? And each day as a fresh chance to be better than we were yesterday? Now, what are you going to do with all this knowledge? How will you apply it to your life? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. And don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. After all, knowledge is meant to be spread, right? Thanks for being with us on this spiritual journey. Until the next video, everyone, wishing you all peace and light.